Hello, Whatnuts, Humpty Dump Nuts, and Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid, Daniel Plainview, anyone who's an oil man. It is Friday, May 24th in the United States, and this is What Chaos presented by Bauer Hockey. Head to bauer.com/training to explore the full range of training gear like the Reactor Dangler for stick handling drills or the Reactor Slide Board to help add strength to your stride. Use code FREESHIPWC for free shipping or visit a local Bauer retailer to get started today. My name is David Bean. That man is Peter Blackburn. And that man is Sean DePaz. And that man is wearing shorts.
Yeah, I know. Like 3 days after I said no shorts on the show, not going to do it, I did it.
I like someone doing it. I'm not going to do it. It's not my want. Every summer, I try to say I'm doing no shorts this summer just because shorts can look good if you do them short enough. But for me, a nice pant.
What do we have for short length grade?
Let me see. Those are, I mean, yeah, oh yeah, those are hitting just above the knee. Yeah. I'm thinking those are 7. But what I don't get is when they do like 7-inch, but your shorts are smaller than Sean's shorts or my shorts. So like, aren't those 3-inch?
I just put on shorts and see if they look good.
Yeah,
I don't have like an inseam.
Yeah,
I've begun to do that
either.
The older I get. I was always between a medium and a large for a t-shirt. Now I'm just like a larger XL boy, but I truly don't think in terms of like what size should this be. It just needs to look good on you. Also, I put weight.
Chat saying I'm mothering at 10 a.m.
Oh, Pete is. I mean, it's a little early to be mothering, but boy, oh boy, it is a great day to be an oil man. What a game! What a game!
Oh,
Western Conference Final, Game 1 goes in to double overtime. Connor McDavid, all of the drama. Stuart Skinner, Jake Ottinger. There were so many characters and so many different layers to this game. We want this series to be good. What a start! Oilers up 1-0 thanks to the redemption of Connor McDavid in double overtime.
Yeah, I know that my beloved Dallas Stars lost Game 1 for the 7th straight time in a row. Shout out insider Johnny Lazarus putting us on that train.
I actually, if you saw the show yesterday, I knew that as well.
Yeah, it's true. You did. Credit to you. But I'm very encouraged by the entertainment value that was shown in Game 1. Really, all I want is an incredible series. And boy, oh boy, did Game 1 set the scene.
I was texting with friends, with hockey friends, non-hockey friends, being like, that was just like a great sports. What's going on with Pete?
I'm stuck.
We're locked on Pete. That was just a fucking great. Like if something like that happened with LeBron or something like there was some legacy shit in play there where Connor McDavid, I thought for the first period was probably the best player on the ice. Overall, played well, quelled some of the concerns we have about what's his health status. Overtime starts. He immediately draws blood on Matt Duchene, takes a 2-minute double minor. As we're streaming it, youtube.com/@whatchaosshow, as we're streaming the overtime, Sean and I are getting all giddy that like, what if it's timed just right? That he gets out of the box and scores. He gets out of the box, kind of almost has a chance, but not really. Nothing too McDavid-esque. Then, late in overtime, a legitimate choke on a tap-in.
Yeah.
Like that is if the Oilers lose this series, we were talking yesterday about Kasper's Dogavans. Like those are, I know that
McDavid's got a little bit more.
He's
of a
done
resume.
more cool things than Kasper's. No, but like that's like the play that you'll look at and say like, you had an open net on a tap-in and you waited 45 minutes. How do you do that? And then in double overtime, He scores the game winner on you look like kind of, I said it to you after, not a perfect comparison, almost Messi-esque, where he was just kind of like strolling casually, biding his time, and then just snapped into the right position, scored the game winner. Let's get the fuck out of here.
That's like a talent of Connor McDavid's, is kind of getting lost and then being found. And that's to lose Connor McDavid is a dangerous game, but he's very good at slipping behind defenses and slipping kind of unnoticed at times. Do you mind if I interrupt with a little bit of breaking news?
Oh, yes.
Don Wadell resigned from his position as president and general manager of the Carolina Hurricanes. Eric Tulsky has been named interim general manager. We will get to that later in the show. We were planning on getting to that anyway. It seemed like all the signs were pointing to Wadell not being the general manager of the Carolina Hurricanes next season.
Interview with Columbus.
But
he gone.
It's happened very quickly.
Beto. You know what that is?
No.
Sean, you know what that is? Beto. Ever seen Despicable Me 2?
Yes.
Get
that's
culture.
A minion.
Yeah, it's the Minions. They Beto. I remember Tori Krug liked that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad has had that as his ringtone for like 100 years.
Jesus Christ.
Don't fucking call my dad. You get a lot of Beto.
You mentioned Connor McDavid and how that might be attached to him if they ended up losing that game. On the flip side, I feel like that was a very, very, very strong potential to be a legacy kind of game for Connor McDavid.
Oh, yeah. And that's why I was saying like that was just a great sports moment. I hope everybody was watching that. Like that is whether it's a great tennis player, whether it's a great baseball player, hockey player, whatever, like that was the best player in the game, almost failing on the biggest stage of his career to this point and coming back from it. I don't get on him for the high stick thing. It was a battle. Stick goes up, gets him, draws blood. I have no idea what he was pleading his case. Like what case he could have been pleading there, but Duchesne was bleeding. He went off. To recover, though, from it was called an Ottinger save, and all three of us pushed back loudly on that in real time. We were like, that was not it was a save by Ottinger and good job, but
good job
best
by
player
Jake
in the
Ottinger.
world
And
is tapping that in 10 times out of 10.
And you have to give credit to Chris Tanev as well. Like it was like basically 50-50 Ottinger and Tanev getting their stick on that. But like Connor McDavid scores that 99 times out of 100. And that play and also him getting caught on a breakaway during that game makes you wonder, like, is something going on?
Oh, the McDavid, like late in the third period?
Yeah.
He was dead. He was at the end of a shift.
No, I know, but like Connor McDavid usually still wins that race.
No, he did not at the end of a shift. He was, like, as soon as that was I don't know if that takes out there or people are saying that. No, like that's right away. I was like, God, I fucking wish you weren't at the end of the shift because you could just see he normally explodes. He was just dead.
I still think that
he was shooting the puck a lot more last night.
I still think there is a hesitation and something that's off in McDavid's game a little bit that makes you wonder what's going on.
I agree. I wouldn't consider that break. You could use the breakaway there. I would not, but there's been points of this postseason last couple of weeks, we'll say, where you're like, is he totally right? But he was shooting the puck more last night. He was he was probably the best player on the ice. You could also maybe say Tyler Seguin, but Seguin wasn't really playing against anybody good. Shout out to him. He was the best Stars player, scored both goals for Dallas, deserved it, did so against Stuart Skinner. And I was going to rock an Oilers jersey today no matter what, but this motherfucker showed out. And who knows? It's a game-by-game basis we're on with Stuart Skinner. But we had a conversation about Ottinger versus Skinner. Both of you raised the point that we may have been overstating the difference in goaltending between these two teams. I thought that Jake Ottinger was really good last night. Mm-hmm. I thought Stu Skinner was really good to even really good plus. As always, there's always a play or two where maybe it gets his shoulder or something, and he doesn't totally know what he has it. But 939 save percentage in this game, was one of the best players on the ice. And as the game went on, we said it late in the stream, it got to the point where the Oilers couldn't lose that game because you just don't know how many games you're getting 940s out of Stuart Skinner. There are only so many games that you can count on getting 900 out of Stuart Skinner. They had to win that game. It would have been demoralizing, I think, if they lost.
I agree. I think that a lot of the stars had some quiet games.
Agree.
So having Stuart Skinner play well and having an opportunity to take a game, especially in Dallas, where you may not get those things again or many times again throughout the course of the series, I felt like they needed to win that game, especially going up 2-0. So early on, Stuart Skinner provided a lot of confidence. There was a breakaway. I forget who had it. Dadonov, and then Ben had a secondary opportunity. Stuart Skinner right there. I was like, okay, all right, he's here.
Yes, exactly. And then the double minor at the end of the first. Wait, was it double minor at the end of the first period? Right? No, it's just a high stick on Holloway. I want to say.
Yep.
The penalty kill at the end of the first period. So like bookended it with. Stu's
penalty kill was great. Penalty kill was great again for Edmonton.
Historic. We're now in historic territory. Do you know this for the Oilers power play or the penalty kill?
Just historic special teams, both sides. Kind of crazy.
And I said, with all due respect to the penalty kill, like the Oilers power play is like actually historically good.
Yeah.
Penalty kill on paper is historically good. I don't know if I'm buying that it's going to operate at a 93% clip the rest of the way.
Probably not, but they did a really fucking good job in game one at disrupting entries, getting to the line pretty quickly.
We're going to have Steve Peters on in a little bit. We also have Gene Principe joining us in just a few minutes. But want to ask him about just the Oilers sticks. The last two games have just been really, really good. Not a big offensive game for Matthias Ekholm, but he was fantastic.
Bouchard was great.
As usual, Bouchard sets up the game winner, shouts out that guy. On the other side, you mentioned the stars not being amazing. Offensively, Wyatt Johnston, quiet. Offensively, Logan Stankoven, quiet. Offensively, until that double minor in the first overtime, Jason Robertson, not really a peep. I know he ended up picking up an assist on the Sagan game time goal, but that was a secondary assist. Those players are too good to go quiet the whole series, so that again feeds into.
Well, I don't know. I said this
on
the well, in one particular case, I said this on the stream last night. I would love to see Jason Robertson show up more in big moments. I just feel like that guy goes quiet when the lights are bright. Too much for my liking. It happened in the playoffs last year for a good stretch. Like, I just want to see Jason Robertson prove to be a big game player a little bit more than he has been.
When people say, give me like an off the beaten path hockey, but like, hey, like I know McDavid, I know like Crosby, give me someone to watch. I always say Jason Robertson. Like, that guy is a fucking monster of a goal scorer, and he plays for Dallas. So that's a little bit of like an off the beat. He's not the best player on the team even, but he's an unbelievable player. And last night, kind of slipped through the cracks a little bit, just a little bit. But Hyman,
oh my God, dog,
give me
dog. Yeah. Maybe you said his best of his 66 goals this year. I don't know.
That's probably wrong, but it felt like the right tweet to send.
It was definitely his most impressive of the playoffs. I will say that. Just a monster effort in front of the net against Dallas's best defensive defenseman in Chris Tanev, just winning that one-on-one battle, just pure man strength from Zach Hyman.
Tanev did everything right, and then Hyman was like, I don't fucking care.
On the Tanev note, worth noting, heard this on 32 Thoughts this morning, Lindell and Tanev, that pair, allowed 2 goals at 5-on-5 through the first 13 games of the playoffs. On the ice for 3 goals against last night.
Ooh, yeah.
Pretty impressive by Edmonton.
So it's just a little reminder that for as much as Dallas will probably win the depth battle, the best players in this series are on Edmonton. So good luck trying to defend them. And good luck to all the haters out there, because Gene Principe joins us now. Hi, Gene. Oh, fuck.
Gene, frozen?
He's frozen, and it says he has himself muted.
Oh, it said, Gene, it says you're frozen and you got yourself muted.
You're no longer frozen. Are you muted? You're still muted.
Let's see. See what buttons there are to potentially press.
I feel like we had this problem.
We've had this, I think, before on one of these.
Was Gene muted at that time that he was like going to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Not going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Right.
Walking to the bathroom.
Yes.
Still,
You're
yeah.
not in
He's
the bathroom.
he's mouthing that he is not in the bathroom.
We can't hear you, but I'm lip reading.
Maybe try calling back if you can, Gene.
Try calling
I
back,
think that
Gene.
losing the headphones may have fixed it. So call back. Yeah. Yeah. The Zach Hyman goal was just very dogged. I tweeted after it happened. So when you say McDavid on that breakaway, didn't have it. McDavid was normal and exploded on that play after Skinner made the save, went the length of the ice and set that up. Do we have Gene now?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
buddy.
Oh,
We can
yeah.
hear you.
All right. Let's
Live
bring
from
it. I got double overtime here. Let's not waste it.
No, Sean was saying before we went on, he was like, for as much as we talk about how great Gene is, we don't even talk about how amazing his hair is.
Yeah, you know what? Well, thank you for that. First of all, you guys, I say this to people. They'll come up to me and say, why do those guys like you so much? I say, I don't know, but I really appreciate it because you guys have raised my my street cred and even the brand because I mean, you end up being sort of considered an Oilers guy or a Sportsnet guy, but you guys have sort of widened that for me. So I do appreciate that. And it's nice staying in touch with you guys. And yes, it was a bathroom in Buffalo last time we chatted on trade deadline day. Now it's a little different.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
We got
I'm
pool
I'm at the
Gene.
pool. Yeah, I'm at the
What's-
pool. I don't know if you're lucky or unlucky. I got my shirt on as opposed to normally I don't. But yeah,
I
it
hope
was
you're
a
not
great
doing that
night
for
last
us.
night.
I hope
It
you're
was
not
a
doing that
great.
for us because Gene popping his top off would be incredible for us.
Total reveal when.
You know what? It's lunchtime out east. I'm not sure people are ready for that. Between their clam chowder and then some pectoral action, I don't know if that goes well.
Ooh, chat
Yeah.
says Gene Principe. That's pretty good.
Ooh,
Oh, I
it's
like
pretty
that. Yeah.
Poolside
Well, let's
Gene.
dive right into last night.
Yeah, dive right
Nice.
in. Well, I mean, before we do, what's it like
Yeah.
being like a national star now? You said that you were used to being like an Edmonton guy,
Yeah.
and now we've kind of expanded your horizons. What's it like?
Well, it's great. You know what? I think sometimes that you know when you're around Edmonton and Rogers Place and you know in that sort of familiar territory, you know you're sort of used to getting not used to getting recognized, but you understand it. But then when you start getting to you know other places on the road, for example, last night a couple people noted our sort of working relationship that we have and saw what we did in Vegas during Super Bowl week, and the Oilers had started their post All-Star break schedule there. So I love it. And you know what? You guys are young and hip, and I don't know if I'm either. So I think that also adds to it. It's one thing for you know for people my age to maybe consider me to be a reasonable guy, but you guys are a good 20 plus years younger than me or around that. So yeah, it's helping. So I appreciate it.
You're way cooler than we'll ever be at any age. So don't even. I did want to ask you. You mentioned the atmosphere or the being seen in Dallas. What was the atmosphere for Game 1? Because it seemed like a pretty electric building last night.
Yeah, you know what? I'll start with this, and this is a comment, not a criticism, just an observation. When you go from an all-Canadian battle between two teams so geographically close, like Edmonton and Vancouver, the media bases and the fan bases get after each other. So it was kind of nice that was neat. For 7 games. I'm not sure you'd want to have that all the time. So this is separate. The two teams have some history going back into the late 90s, early 2000s. It was wonderful. I mean, Dallas is a very loud, big, boisterous building. Lots of Stars fans. You know, you walk around, and of course, the Cowboys are number one all the time, every day of the week. But then you've got the Texas Rangers that certainly are there. The Mavs are with them, you know, in their own playoffs right now. And the Stars have found a really good, solid, growing fan base. Once you're out of the building, it may not be like you're in Edmonton or Vancouver, or, you know, or Boston, those kinds of cities, but huge support for the Stars. It was really great. In fact, myself and Elliot Friedman, you mentioned 32 podcasts, working with Elliot was a blast last night. When Edmonton scored, a couple of Stars fans in front of us gave us a fist pump. They knew we were doing Canadian TV. We knew who we were involved with, and they were still great about it. So that was kind of nice to know that it is important, but there's still some civility, I guess, between fans and broadcasters in different countries.
Well,
So what I'm getting is that Vancouver fans did not have civility.
Well, no, they
First
were
time for
actually
everything.
quite
Shocker.
nice. They were quite nice because when you go into a market like Vancouver, if people recognize you, they recognize you because you're an Oilers guy. And I would say this: Connor McDavid, who had himself quite an overtime, that was unbelievable. His overtime, just him. Forget about everything else. Just Connor McDavid. Lots of hockey fans will watch the Oilers because of McDavid and Draisaitl and company. You talked about Zach Hyman, who scored a heck of a goal. Talk about persistence and man/dad strength that he showed on that goal. So people do recognize you. They were quite nice. But if you start opinionating on X or Twitter as a broadcaster, then it can turn a different way, and that was from both sides. But it was a wonderful Canadian series, and now. We move on with one Canadian team. You never know if all of Canada is cheering for Edmonton or not, but we know that at least part of Canada is. So it was a neat opening game. Hard to. I love what you guys said about the stars not sort of being what we expect. Because I agree with you with Jason Robertson. Jamie Benn was physical, but it wasn't sort of what you would expect from the number one team in the West. And I'm sure, we'll see that in game two, a lot of it as the Stars look to even up the series.
As someone who knows him, what do you think last night in that overtime meant to Connor McDavid?
Oh my gosh!
After the game, even by the time he got to, and obviously you were there, so you talked to him after the game. But by the time he got to the room, he seemed to have settled himself a little bit. But his immediate post-game interview on TNT, he was borderline kicking himself. He was still talking about how he chunked it in the first overtime, saying like it's got to go in, it's got to go in. So what do you think it meant to him?
I think it meant the world to him. He said it post game. I don't know how much he would have slept last night between the double minor, which the penalty kill did a fantastic job killing that off, and then having that. I was going to say 97 times out of 100, if not more, he's going to score that goal, and so then to have another chance to score on a innocuous sort of deflection kind of out of nowhere. He had to be, and I know he had we actually flew in. His fiance was on the same flight as us. I know his dad was there, his brother was there, his brother's fiance, a bunch of buddies. Even just the little kid in him, when you go meet your family after a game, whatever game it is, I'm sure he would have just been choked. But he came through, and I know he was relieved, and he was so supportive of his teammates because so often he's the guy carrying the team. But last night he was able to make up for some things that you don't often see from Connor McDavid.
When we talked in Vegas, we mentioned and talked about how Connor McDavid has become a better quote and kind of a thoughtful guy in his interviews. But I've also noticed that he's become a lot more demonstrative and intense, both on and off the ice. And even the post-game interview, he wears his emotions on his sleeve and has this intensity about him. Did he suppress that earlier in his career, do you think? Or has it kind of stacked over time where he's now just kind of a little bit more comfortable being emotional, or just feels the intensity of the emotions a little bit more?
Yeah, I think that's a great pickup by you guys. I think, and this might apply to any. I got 3 kids that are not quite Connor's age, but close to his age, and I think it's just the growth of a person. You're not sure at 18 what's okay, what's not okay. You step into this league, this generational talent. They're talking about Gretzky, Lemieux, and Crosby, and then me. I don't know if he knew what was okay, and I think he realized that who he is more than okay. He knows what to say, when to say it, how to say it. I loved his conversation with the referee. He's holding my stick. I thought that was great that he wasn't going to talk him out of anything, but I just thought he was just being him to say, hey, listen. And I thought it was kind of neat. The ref looked like he said, watch it, and you'll see the double minor. And he looked like he beat himself up by the time we got to post game with everything he went through. And there was a neat clip on Edmonton Oilers Instagram, and he jokingly says, or sarcastically, "Man, was that ever eventful?" No kidding. I mean, the game seemed like a sidebar to the overtime, especially for Connor and maybe both teams, because Dallas has seen it from the other side. Oh my gosh, what a save by Ottinger. Oh my gosh, we had a power play for 4 minutes and didn't score. And then on a play that didn't seem that harmful, ended up being the double overtime winner. And I'm sure a lot of people had a hard time going to sleep last night, but McDavid at some point, I'm sure, got his 8 hours in after scoring the game winner.
We've speculated a lot on his health. I think last night you saw that he's healthy enough, but do you see at moments that maybe something might be there?
You know, DJ, it's a great question because everybody thinks, there was that breakaway or looked like a breakaway for McDavid. He was at the end of his shift and Esa Lindell caught him and people start to say, "Oh, what's wrong? Is he what's you definitely think something's wrong when McDavid had gone, I think, 5 games without a goal, and Vancouver really went after him legally for the most part, playoff legal, and they did a really good job against him, and especially 5-on-5. And so, for sure, when McDavid's not putting up the numbers and maybe showing you those flashes of brilliance, the automatic thing is, what's wrong with him? I think everybody is beat up at this point. They only had 1 day really off. They flew home from Vancouver, had Tuesday off, Wednesday practice, flew here, and then Thursday was game day. So I'm sure he's not 100%. Nobody is, but I haven't seen anything that would suggest to me that, as you said, he's healthy enough. If he were really in bad shape, now's not the time to play. You would take a game or two to try and recover, knowing that you'd be back for, let's say, game 3 or 4. But amazing story. He's had pressure on him since, oh my gosh, since he was eating, cereal at 9 o'clock at night after his game, knowing that he was going to one day be this guy that is expected to win and lead his team to a Stanley Cup. And I would say this, guys, 2022 got swept by Colorado. The Oilers felt like they were in a better place. Well, they are. They won 1 game already, which is more than they did versus Colorado. At least 3 more to go to get to the Cup final, but a huge step last night. And I don't want to get too far in the destiny thing, but at least for a moment, you feel like there's some destiny on the Oilers side because they kind of had everything happen to them last night where they shouldn't have won or couldn't have won, and they did. So who knows what that leads to moving through this series.
Well, since you just mentioned the destiny thing, we had the conversation briefly. Where does this rank? There's a lot of hockey left to be played in this series, but where did last night rank in terms of like Connor McDavid legacy games? Because it did feel like he willed the Oilers to win in that second overtime.
Well, Pete, normally, and you guys know it, normally when we talk about Connor McDavid and his legacy, he's gone end to end. He's had a 5-assist game. He's put up 6 points. He's embarrassed to set a defenseman, or he's made his behind the back through his legs pass to Leon Draisaitl for a power play goal. But last night was a legacy that everybody can kind of relate to and going, man, my day sucked and it didn't go well. And my teammates, my group at work, the people around me lifted me back up and made sure that they gave me another chance. And I took advantage of that chance. So yesterday was a day for every sort of average guy and gal to say, wow, the day wasn't quite over and I made the most of it. And I can go to sleep with a smile on my face because I did something to make everybody around me feel good. And I kind of felt like that was Connor's game, and that will be a game, Pete and DJ, that for sure, especially as we move forward, depending how far this goes, that everyone will look back at and say, remember that opening game against Dallas, and remember what happened in overtime, and remember how it finished. So that's what everyone will think about, again, depending on what happens this series and potentially if there's another series.
Where's the temperature and the confidence level on Stuart Skinner right now? Because heading into the series, that seemed to be the biggest perceived gap between the Stars and the Oilers was goaltending. But Stu looked great in game 1, and just wondering if maybe there's a little bit more confidence from the Oilers fans behind him. it looked great during the game, but after the game, he sounded very sleepy. He wanted to go right to bed.
Yeah,
So
right to bed.
Where are the Oilers fans
Talk
on
about
Stewie right
relatable.
now?
Yeah. Well, I wish I had his problem. He usually says he loses about 10 pounds a game. And in Dallas, while it's cloudy out today, yesterday we got some sun in the afternoon, and it was the humidity. Literally, you could kind of cut it with a knife. It was just thick. As soon as you walked outside, you could feel it. And I think that Stewart is a young man, but a real mature man. Listen, Chris Knobloch made some big decisions last series. You take out your number one netminder, trailing a series 2-1. Then you bring him back in, trailing a series 3-2, 2 elimination games. Stewart does not disappoint. And last night, it's the cliche about your goalie has to be your best penalty killer. Listen, the penalty killers were fantastic, but in the end, they cannot block every single shot. And I just thought he gave them a sense of calm. He's very economical the way he plays. He's not flipping and flopping and flying. And I know it worked for the Dominator, but it doesn't work for everyone. And I just think that he oozed confidence. And I'm amazed at, as long as I've been around the sports business, how the word confidence comes up all the time. You can even bet that Connor McDavid probably his confidence was, there's different levels of confidence. There's days you think, I can take on the world today. There's nothing that can bring me down. Then there's days you're like, well, I think I got it. I feel like I should be able to accomplish that. And I'm sure that Connor and then Stewart, particularly in the last round, were kind of wondering, what have I got? But it's important to know that people around you believe in you. And that's what they gave Stewart by bringing him back in. And he has not let them down. And he will do whatever he can to make sure that he doesn't. So I think that it was a huge series turning moment in Vancouver. And I think game one, you never know, right? With the goalie, like, you let in a bad goal, and it doesn't matter that you made 90 out of the last 94 stops. It's the bad goal they talk about. He did not let in a bad goal at all. In fact, stopped a breakaway in his first shot of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that kind of set the tone for him and the team, knowing that he was there and would be there from beginning to end.
Yeah, what stuns me, though, is just how far he's come so quickly. And maybe last night was a one-off performance. It was his best game since his shutout in Game 5. But, like, from a confidence or attitude standpoint, you know him better than we do. How does somebody go from unplayable a week ago to last night, like, really one of the best players on the ice and truly looking, we said with goalies, like, locked in?
Yeah, I love the term locked in, because there was a great shot in the broadcast after a replay of Stewart, just, those eyes through his mask. And he just was like the look that he gave was like, I'm locked in and I got this. Don't worry. Whatever amount of goals I can allow, I will allow, but I won't allow the one that causes us to lose this game. And I think mental health, Stewart's a big believer in lessons and experiences and taking the bad and turning it into good. I mean, he's 25 years old. He's already been married I think he's been married since he was about 21. He's got a little baby boy, Bo, who's one and then some. So he's life-wise, he's a little ahead of, well, certainly where I was. I didn't get married till I was 30. Didn't have my first kid till I was like 32, and I didn't have it. My wife had it.
Dog.
Yeah. Stu also looks like 40.
I know. Yeah.
He looks like a man.
Right.
I look like a child. If I stood next to Stuart Skinner, you'd be like, who's older here? Like that guy by 20 years.
Yeah, no, I know. He just exudes. He looks it. He lives it. He is that part of just. We all know people who are kind of way older than their birth certificate suggests, and I don't know for sure, but I think after that loss where he got pulled, I think Stewart was crushed, as he should be or would be. Any of us would be in that scenario, and I think through his team, through hhis support, he's just kind of built himself back up, which seems amazing to do, as you said, TJ, in a week or less. But I think he's done that, and that he's a big reader on self-help books. He'll often read throughout the season. He's got it on the plane on just how to continue to either build yourself back up or keep yourself at a certain level. And I mean, I watched him last night, and I thought, how tense is that? It's a 4-minute power play in overtime. Everybody wants to bail out Connor McDavid because he's bailed out us all the time, as often as he can. So I don't think we're going to see what we saw in that last series. I'm not saying he's going to win, 7 straight games and they're going to win the Stanley Cup, but I don't think that Stuart Skinner should be a worry for Oiler fans and for the Oilers.
All right, well, somebody in the chat asks, is Gene on vacation? And I get the feeling when you're Gene motherfucking Principe, every day you're on vacation.
I haven't quite been called that before, but that is, again, street cred. Nobody calls me that.
It's a big nickname around here.
It is. Like, I get I get Gino. That's about all I get. I don't get what you just called me, which makes me feel really cool. My wife always says, always says, do you have to come home with a tan like you just were on vacation? And I'm like, well, we've been married. We just got past 27 years. So I said, she's used to it. Oh, yeah, long time, but big support. Everybody needs their support. I've got mine and my wife, kids, and extended family. But, I do enjoy the outdoors. And the Italian in me, just a little olive oil drop, and I'm good to go.
You're the best. We love you. We'll let you get back to your bronzing. And thank you so much for coming on.
If the Oilers win the cup, somebody suggested this in the chat. If the Oilers win the cup, we do a poolside podcast.
Yes, like instead of fireside chats.
Yeah, some frozen drinks.
I'm in. I'll have shirt off. I'll have the sun. I'm in.
What a dream.
I've never been more invested in the Oilers. Well, thank you, my friend. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care, boys. Always enjoy it. So long.
Bye, Gene. If you just tuned in for the Gene Principe interview, please be sure to hit subscribe wherever you are listening or watching, especially on YouTube. It helps us a lot. Today's podcast is brought to you by Bauer Hockey. Looking for new ways to dominate on the ice? Bauer is here to give you an assist by being the go-to destination for your training needs. Whether you're an elite skater like Pete or a rookie in rec league like me, these training tools are built to help you become the player you've always wanted to be. Head to Bauer.com/training to explore the full range of training gear like the digital reactor dangler for stick handling drills or the reactor slide board to help add strength to your stride. Use code FREESHIP WC for free shipping or visit a local Bauer retailer to get started today. Look at that nice shirt of Pete.
Oh, yeah. This is my favorite shirt, of all time. So go get it. Also, if you're trying to get in the building for any of these games remaining on the playoff schedule, head to our friends at Game Time, because Game Time is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. We've used them. We love them. The transparency is amazing. There's the all-in pricing. You don't get blindsided by hidden fees. You can also find deals on concerts, comedy shows, theater, all across the board. Game Time is the best. You can also hit the zone deals where you pick the section and Game Time will pick the seats for you with an average of 18% savings. So they take the guesswork out of buying tickets. So download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHAOS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHAOS, CHAOS, for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price is guaranteed.
All right, going to hit a quick slate grade as we transition to our next guest. Tonight at 8 p.m. U.S., the Panthers visit the Rangers for Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Final. It's a good structure. There's one game. They're playing at a time where normally games are played.
Mm-hmm.
Not much to not like there. Liked Game 1 a lot.
Big fan.
It's a Friday night. Tarps are going to be off, inspired by Gene. Yeah, I give this an A.
Okay, all right. I was wondering where you're going with that.
I give this an A.
I also think it's an A.
You do?
I've hit basically A territory for the rest of the playoffs, I think. Oh, no, that's a lie. Fucking Sundays, we're not going to have a show, but Sunday, a 3 p.m. start on Sunday, horrible behavior.
A-.
Horrible behavior. Give me 8 p.m. on Sunday night.
I was supposed to go sailing on Sunday, and now guess what I'm doing?
Middle of the day? Ugh.
Especially because it's a holiday weekend. So, there's going to be, parades and shit on Sunday.
I'm trying to go to a parade.
3 p.m. on Sunday makes me sick to my stomach.
I got those bands, and I got them drums. Just like a parade, bitch.
Nice.
J-Rock.
Yeah.
You know what I'm referencing?
Mm-hmm.
Money Trees.
Yep.
J-Rock's incredible.
Saw him in
also
concert.
incredible. It is a good song. Steve Peters of PHNX and ESPN and everything. No one breaks down the game like Petey. He's talking to us now. Hi, Petey.
Hey, how do you guys put me on after Gene Principe?
Yeah, you're fucked.
You are
no
fucked,
chance.
But let me give you a compliment since we were heavy on the compliments with Gene, meant every bit of it. You have a great beard. You have a great beard, like nice little stubble. I love the salt and pepper. You're very handsome. So you're not as handsome as Gene, but you're very handsome nonetheless.
And I also wear most of my shirts have sleeves. Well, technically all of them. So Butcher Grass on the other day, buddy, I don't know how old he is, but he's got the salt and pepper beard. The shirt, no full tat sleeves. That's sick. Can't pull it off. I don't have the Gene Principe hair. I'm not outside at the pool. I never leave home because you can't get hurt if you don't leave home. I like games at 3. Noon is better. I don't care if it's Tuesday. Put them on at noon. I'm not staying up till 8 because they're not done till 11. So we're
terrible
on different
behavior.
wavelengths.
Bad behavior. Terrible behavior.
This was all the most predictable PD take ever. It's like, PD.
A noon playoff hockey game
PD
on
every
Tuesday
day. 10 a.m.
Get the
noon on
fuck
Tuesday. Let's get it done.
out of here. Although
Walk
I'll tell
the
you
dog,
what,
have
some
my
like
brunch.
noon bubble games, because there were playoff games that were happening like during the bubble.
PD was in the bubble.
Cared. I was in the bubble.
How was the bubble
in
experience?
Edmonton? In Edmonton, I lived in the bubble for 27 days in Edmonton.
Was it as bad as everybody made it out to be?
Yeah, worse. So when you're in Edmonton, when there is no bubble, it's not a top 10 city in the NHL. But when you're in Edmonton in a bubble, buddy, there's a lot less to do in Edmonton. But you know what? The Coyotes won a playoff series, at least technically. They said it was, even though it wasn't, because they were 11th, but whatever. Yeah, it was fun. We'll talk about it someday. The bubble.
I also want to shout out, just because people have multiple times mentioned the TNA jersey in the background. You were Connor McDavid's video coach, technically, were you not?
I was the video coach for Team North America. McDavid, Matthews. Yeah.
Did you know this?
Best team ever assembled.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's incredible.
I was really cool.
You taught him everything he knows. Also,
yeah, they literally didn't know who I was. They have no idea. Don't know.
I
traveled
and
with
then you
him
taught
for
him
a
who you
month.
were, so you taught him something he knows.
Yeah, no idea. I do have his autograph on that. That jersey is a big fucking deal. It's got signed pucks.
That's amazing.
Pictures,
I would pay
tickets.
an unlimited amount of money for a Connor McDavid
Yeah, the
signed
pucks are
TNA
Matthews.
jersey.
I might have. I thought about that this morning. I have one in my closet in a bag, not even in a plastic bag, just on the bottom of my floor in my closet. I got to get that out. So, yeah, a lot going on. A lot of playoffs,
I do want to
too.
push back on something you said earlier. You could definitely pull off tattoo sleeves. You absolutely
so?
could.
Oh yeah,
buddy, I'm 56 and I got little skinny arms, like twig arms. Look at Pete. Like Pete gets off the show and goes right to the gym. Like for sure he does. Like he's working.
I go to
out.
the gym
Like,
before
it's
the
part
show,
of your daily
actually.
plan. Part of your plan, right? So you know what I did, Pete? You'll like this. I told this on our show yesterday. So I'm 56. I don't exercise. I walk. Well, technically, it's exercising, but not really. And then I just bought on Amazon, for real, I bought the wrist weights that you strap to your thumb. And so when you're walking down the street, you're giving the punches and the over the heads at 56 until somebody else approaches, car or person, and then the arms go down by the side. I'm just walking normal. I'm not looking like an idiot.
No,
And
you
then
gotta
when I
own
go
they
that
back-
can
shit.
serve as brass knuckles as well. If you want to slug somebody, you
Air
can knock their
punching.
teeth out.
You got to own that
56
shit.
year-old
Like if
air
you're doing
punching,
that, you gotta not care about the cars or the people walking by. I feel like it's weirder if you do it and somebody catches you and then you put your arms down by your side. They're like, "What the fuck is that guy doing?"
I'm trying.
I
gotta
want to
run
get those for rollerblading now. Imagine if I'm like just doing laps, rollerblading.
Yeah. DJ, I'm telling you, it gives you the leg burn too. That little extra weight. It doesn't seem like much, but it does burn the legs.
Incredible stuff. We're going to talk about the Eastern Conference in a minute, but just we'd be remiss if we didn't ask you for your hockey eyes view of all that transpired in last night's game, specifically with Connor McDavid.
You know, it's funny. We talk about Connor McDavid, and I listened to you earlier, and you're talking about how he was so good in the first, and I just went back and rewatched the first, and he turned the puck over. He didn't make those final plays. It was little things in his game that just weren't quite there, but you could see the frustration start to set in as the game continued to happen. And I tell you, and I'm sure you guys said it too because you were live on the air, when he took that penalty, and you could see the look on his face as he sat in the penalty box and stewed and thought, and most importantly, rested. I turned to the people I was watching the game with and said, Connor McDavid's going to win the game. Like he probably, like you guys said, he's going to do it when he jumps out of the box, but he's going to win the game. There is no doubt in my mind Connor McDavid's going to win the game, and he does. Like from that point on, you just knew something great was going to happen with Connor McDavid. So on the other side of the puck, and this is where I got concerned for the Dallas Stars all night. I was in the coach's room with Dave Tippett, and we had the longest winning streak against the Edmonton Oilers of any team, and our team sucked because our entire video meeting was stay above Connor McDavid. All three zones, somebody stay above him. You defend Connor McDavid when we have the puck. And that's not a joke. That's real. You defend Connor McDavid. So when you watch the double overtime goal and you see how much room the best player in hockey has in front of the net, you're like, what in the hell is going on? Like, how do you do this? And how do you do it? You start two 21-year-olds in double overtime. You start with Johnston and Stankoven. You have two 21-year-old guys who've never felt that kind of pressure against Connor McDavid in double overtime. I thought one of the big keys to that game, Stankoven and Wyatt Johnson just weren't good enough. They turned the puck over. They were, and I know I'll give credit to the Edmonton Oilers. Their sticks, as you said, DJ, they closed tight. Defense gave them no room. Their defense for Edmonton was outstanding from the blue line in. No room, no sticks. But Wyatt Johnson and Stankoven looked scared. And they moved the puck too quick. They threw it through sticks. They missed nets. They just weren't what they were in the regular season. They are going to have to be better because the best player for the Dallas Stars can't be Sagan. And I think he was great, like the player, but he can't be their best player. It's got to be Robertson. It's got to be those young players if you're going to play against a fast team like Edmonton.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I wanted to get your thoughts on the Eastern Conference. We got game 2 tonight between the Rangers and the Panthers. First things first, like, what did you glean from game 1 of that series?
It's funny. I love the Rangers. I picked them to win the Eastern Conference before the playoffs started, and I thought they were deeper, and I love their power play, and their goaltender's great. And then they run into the Florida Panthers, and they looked like a minor league team. Like, the Florida Panthers dominated that game. They were above the puck the entire game. The Rangers had no room to move anywhere on the ice. Offensive zone, defensive zone. They couldn't get out of their own zone. Florida Panthers forecheck was not only elite, it might be the best I've seen because Carolina is great at smothering a team. Florida, finally the Rangers get the puck. Oh, we're at the top of the circle. We're out clean. Nope, here comes Ekblad, and you're back in, and you're defending again. The Florida Panthers were outstanding. The Rangers have to figure out a way to get up the ice. The only opportunities they had were off turnovers before Florida could get set in their structure. And they had great opportunities. They just didn't finish. And so they have to close on those, and they're going to have to find a way to get the power play going. And it's the same thing you said with Edmonton. Edmonton was perfect on the penalty kill because they're aggressive. Well, when a team's aggressive like that, you got to get the puck to where the open ice is. You got to get to the weak side. And what I saw from the Stars against the Oilers, even with Robertson, holding on to the puck too long, and then your time and space is just gone. The turnover and it's back the other way. You have to move the puck quicker. The Rangers need to do that tonight against Florida. They have to move the puck quicker. And it's not just on the power play. It's everywhere on the ice. They have to move the puck quicker.
Yeah, when we talk about teams that keep the puck in the offensive zone, we usually mean that they get in, they get set up, they have a long possession, they move the puck around. The Panthers keep the puck in the offensive zone by they keep getting it back. So like they scoring chance, get the puck back, keep it in the offensive zone. They keep getting the puck back. What do the Rangers need to do just to simply get it out of the zone?
Well, you look at the Florida Panthers, they're a dog on a bone. And as soon as that puck is released, you should watch those forwards. Watch Keith Tkachuk. Good Lord, there's my Coyote shit coming in. Matthew Tkachuk, when that puck is released by anybody on the ice, the Florida Panthers are ready. Where's it going? Where's it going? Where's it going? And they're ready to go. The New York Rangers, they have to get in shooting lanes better. They've got to block more shots because you can't give them those opportunities near the net because the Florida Panthers pick up those rebounds and they bury them. They're very good around the blue paint. You have to anticipate better. And more importantly for the Rangers, I don't think they like to panic, meaning they want to make that play. You want to make the nice tape-to-tape pass up to Panarin. Panarin will throw it across ice to Zibanejad, and it looks great. Right now, the New York Rangers have to get it off the glass and get it out because what's happening is they're defending so much that they are so tired that by the time they get over the blue line, now they have to have a line change. They have no offensive time. And when you watch the game winner, and I know we're going to talk about it, it's the same thing. They are a tired team because they're defending too much. So I would like to see them, I don't want to say panic, but you have to create space. So on the breakouts, it's got to be hard rims or off the glass. You just have to because you cannot get out of the zone. You clearly showed it through 60 minutes. You can't get out. So flip it off the glass and have everybody ready. Have the wingers know, hey, everything's going deep. We're flipping pucks to the neutral zone. We're going to have races at the neutral zone. I'd rather have that than being hemmed in to my zone for a minute 20, minute 30 and defending for that long. So I'd like to see the Rangers, hey, let's create some space. Let's get the puck out of our zone and create space and create those races between the blue lines instead of in the defensive zone.
You know they're going to take they're going to take a delay a game penalty, right? Like the first time they try that.
Yeah. Over the glass. I know. Way to go, smart ass. And they're going to say, hey, Petey, what Petey said.
No, like I hear what you're saying, but like at some point you're out of options.
Yeah, you're right. Florida was too good. And I still like the Rangers. And I know you're not going to like to hear this, DJ. I still like Dallas. I think Dallas, again, Stuart Skinner to me, I keep jumping around. I'm sorry. I know you've got
No. It's okay.
We're never going to turn down Oilers talk. Let's go.
But Stuart Skinner, to me, and I watched him through the playoffs, and you guys did too, and you go, oh, God, that was a soft one. That's going to hurt. He didn't do that yesterday. The soft one was Ottinger. And I know you guys really like the Hyman goal, but come on. Like, really?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a 2-on-2
You
with
do
their
need to make
best
a save.
defensive pair. You got to make a play. And then not only do you got to make a play, you absolutely need to make a save there. And as soon as he let that one in, and then the puck, really that play starts when a great save by Skinner. Lindell comes up, fires it right at his shoulder. Great save by Skinner. Goes back and gets the goal. You go, uh-oh. The tide has turned for Skinner, and he just had that confidence. And a confident goalie is a scary goalie. And that's, if Edmonton is going to win this series, Skinner has to continue to be outstanding, and Connor McDavid needs to be Connor McDavid. We said that last week, and I still believe that's the case here. And both of those things happened. In the Rangers series, Bobrovsky was better. He was better than Shesterkin. He made the saves when he needed to make them, and Shesterkin technically screws up the goddamn game and loses it on a puck play. So the goaltenders in both series are very important, but we'll see what happens tonight.
I also felt like the Rangers were pushed around a bit in game one. Like they weren't the more physical team. So where do you stand on the Matt Rempe discussion? Like, would you put him in the lineup for game two?
I don't know, because they had that fourth line for the Rangers was so fast, and they got to the net so hard. One thing Rempe does, I know people like him, and he's a big guy in front of the net, and he can hit, but man, does he slow the game down on that fourth line. And this game with the Florida Panthers is about speed and getting up the ice. You've got to have your better. You need to have your better players be physical. Trouba's got to take a more physical role. Keandre Miller's got to take a more physical role. I think you have to try it one more time with the guys in the lineup that you've relied on in game one. If that doesn't work and they get pushed around again, Rempe's going to be in on game three. He might be in the lineup tonight. Clearly, I don't know. I haven't got. I'll have to call the Rangers right after the show.
Asking Jacob Trouba to take a more physical role is a dangerous game, because
That's
you could be out
dangerous.
without him for like the
hand
next
him a
3 to 4
weapon?
games in the series.
Guys in row J, look out, because he's coming.
Yeah. I don't hate your behavior on saying that you still like Dallas in this series. I don't think that it will be as short a series as it could have been. Pete and I both thought that it could have been long series for Edmonton, long series for Dallas, and then also a piece of that pie goes to a short series for Dallas. I think that we both think it'll probably be maybe a 6 or 7 gamer at this point.
Yeah, I think the only outcome that I would take off the table is a short series for Edmonton. Like I could see it going.
It's more in play now, though.
It's one game closer, that's for sure. So,
It's what happened last year,
I
though,
still think
Pete.
it's gonna be a great series.
Ottinger wasn't great last year against the Vegas Golden Knights. Ottinger wasn't. He wasn't solid, and it's happening again. And
So
once
we
that
made
creeps in, look out.
We had this discussion earlier this week where
Sean's nodding his head violently.
Sean's violently nodding. Yeah, we had this discussion earlier this week that the biggest discrepancy in this series seems to be goaltending. But we talked about by the end of the series, we could be talking about it being much closer than people anticipated, just because Stuart Skinner had a lot more room to get better. And I still think we have to learn about Jake Ottinger. Like, do you agree that Ottinger may not be the playoff guy that a lot of people make him out to be? DJ pointed out, like, he was bad in the series last year.
Yeah, he was bad. And he's a guy that I've said over and over, when he's good, he's extremely good. But, and I'll say this to DJ, the reverse VH, well, Ottinger's a reverse VH robot, period. Watch him tonight. Watch him tomorrow night in the game. When the puck gets below the circle and outside closer to the board, he's on his knee. I don't care who's got the puck. His own defenseman could have the puck and he's down his knee. It drives me nuts. But he cannot give up that goal on that Hyman shot. He can't. If you're going to win the Stanley Cup and you're going to be a Conn Smythe guy and you're going to be the goaltender of a team that's going to the finals, you cannot let that goal in, period. You can't. He has it's on the pad. Put your paddle on the ice. Like I don't know. I haven't played in 32 years, but I think I had a better chance than Ottinger did there, and that's a concern. He has to be better. So here's what happens: last year's series against Vegas, he was not good. This year now, he lets in one bad goal that creeps in, and you don't even have to say it, and you're thinking it. We're talking about it. You don't think they're thinking that in the Dallas Stars room? Oh shit, we're in trouble. And I love Wedgwood. Like Wedgwood's a Coyote. We love him, but he can't jump in on this after not playing for 2 months. So Ottinger's going to have to be the guy, and I just don't know. He made a couple of saves. Even I watched again. McDavid drives the net in the third period, and he fumbles it, and he doesn't see it, and he doesn't track it in, he doesn't cover it. And it's just those little details that you go, not as sharp as I think he needs to be to win this series.
I mean, I think the save of the game, in fairness, I think the save of the game was Ottinger on Holloway. Or actually,
but
Holloway missed, didn't he?
Holloway missed.
Holloway missed the net.
After the...
He saves it. He saves it off his right pad. But DJ, if he goes 1 inch, 2, 3 inches farther. Holloway's, it's a tap in. Like Ottinger got beat. He went the wrong way. Went to his left and he kicks out his right leg and he ran out of room. Holloway gets it up or gets it by him, and you're going, oh shit, this is over.
So
And
I'll
yes, he does
rephrase to say
huge
I'll
save.
rephrase say biggest save
Huge
of the
save.
game. Although
It
you
is
could then
absolutely
say the regular overtime one, but that
huge
wasn't a
save.
fucking save. That was just
No,
McDavid
lucky.
chunking it. He scores 100 times out of 100.
Yes.
Do
Yes.
the Stars improve defensively in front of him, which sounds like a stupid thing to say because they've got some fucking dogs back there, but I thought that Heiskanen got fucking drenched last night, and Tanev, as Pete noted, has been on the ice for very few goals against and was on for what, more than he
3.
has been
Yeah.
all postseason to this point.
2 goals against with Tanev and Lindell in the first 13 games, 3 last night.
And even when Tanev made a play on breaking up that scoring chance for
Heiskanen.
Hyman
Hyman.
and McDavid, he ends up then just kind of getting grown-ass manded by Hyman.
Yeah, it's those two were not good. And it's when you put those guys over the boards for the Dallas Stars, you expect them to defend well and against the best players in the league, and they weren't good. They look tired. They look slow. Even on the first goal, Tanev has the puck on his stick and he misplays it and it pops out to the front. So Edmonton gets their first goal on a mistake by Tanev. I didn't think they were good. And you look at the game-winning goal, Tanev. Again, he pushes off Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with one arm instead of going to the corner with 2 hands on a stick, making the bump to Lindell, and they're out. He gets beat one-on-1 by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Tanev wasn't good, and that's a concern for the Dallas Stars because when you get past that pair, I mean, Heiskanen is a two-way player. He's nice, but their top defensive pair is Lindell and Tanev, and they've got to be better because Suter. I get concerned for putting a lot of big defensive minutes on Suter, so they have to be better defensively. But more importantly, they just need the puck more. Edmonton just shut them down. It was funny watching the Edmonton Oilers, like a little bit like you're seeing, easy now, but a little Carolina Florida-ish. Like Dallas just couldn't do anything. Dallas couldn't do anything. They couldn't get any room offensively. They couldn't get through the neutral zone. Some of that was their own fault. Their puck play was poor. They turned the puck over too much. But Edmonton, their gaps were tight, and they were right on top of those Stars. So a lot of things are going to have to change. Because if it goes up 2-0 Edmonton back to Edmonton, yeah, things could be interesting.
I'm the biggest Oilers fan in the world. I will say borderline no problem if the Stars go back to Edmonton down 0-2 just because of what they were able to do against Vegas. But you're giving me hope as an Oilers fan because you are painting the picture that for as much as we came into this thinking Robertson's got to be better, Johnson's got to be better, Stankoven's got to be better, and maybe in the case of the latter two, it's just becoming that they're maybe too inexperienced or too young for the moment or whatever. But, and not that these guys are on the same level, but if Holloway could have been better on that breakaway, Warren Fogle I'm not expecting much from, but like the Oilers could have even won last night's game more handily.
Yeah.
So like they've got guys that can be better. We haven't even said Draisaitl's name, who by and large, Draisaitl scores again. He's up 9 points on the next non-Oiler on the list, having a fucking insane postseason. Yeah. I feel like he could be a little better.
Top 2 German player in hockey.
That's true. Yeah.
Shout out
number
JJ.
1, JJ. Who do you think's more screwed if they go down 2-0 heading to an away building? The Rangers or Dallas?
Rangers, no doubt. You go back into Florida, and I still believe that the Stars, they've lost before. We've mentioned they've lost the first game of a series before. I think they've played the Avs and the Vegas Golden Knights. I think that they can still stay within the moment. They have enough experience, veteran leaders. I worry about the Rangers. The Florida is just so smothering, and they're so good and so physical. And if they go up 2-0 and come back home to Florida, to Sunrise, I think that one, I can't believe it because I really like the Rangers, but that one's in trouble because the guys on the bench, it all goes to feeling. Losing breeds losing. Winning breeds losing. I mean, you just believe you're going to win. And if you go up 2-0 coming home, that Florida Panther team with Tkachuk and Barkov, and they're going to believe. And once they believe, it's hard to beat a team that's believing in themselves. So I think that series could be over quick. I'd be more concerned with a Florida 2-0 advantage.
For the Rangers to pull even, who do you think needs to be better in game 2?
And it's got, for me, it's Adam Fox, and it's Adam Fox been this whole series. And one of the, you hear that he may be injured and maybe part of the problem that they're hiding an injury on Adam Fox. They need to create offense from their defense because they can't get it offensively because they're being too smothered by the Florida Panthers. They need to get the puck back to the point, and then something's got to either A, they got to get pucks through, which they haven't been able to do, or 2, when Adam Fox gets active off of that blue line and he's moving off that blue line, he is incredible incredibly dangerous. And he can create space for other people because he'll draw the Florida Panthers to him. Now somebody else is open. Panarin, Zibanejad, Kreider. For me, it's Adam Fox. He's got to be the best player on the ice tonight. You've got to notice Adam Fox offensively if the Rangers are going to dig out of this.
The only thing I don't like about you, Petey, is that you make me want to watch hockey right fucking now. And like I love this conversation so much, but also I'm like, very rarely am I like, I wish I weren't fucking hanging out with Pete and Sean right now in this awesome studio where we do this show that's the most fun part of my life. I just want to fucking sit in a room now and watch hockey.
Well, I mean,
someday
to build off that, like I hate that you live across the country. Move here and be the third person on the show, please. You're so much smarter than us, and we need you.
You should see what it's like watching a game with me, though. I don't know if you guys would like. I get.
We should see that.
I don't want to say. I don't cheer for teams. But I could see like, oh shit, where's that guy going? There's gonna be trouble. Like, and I literally stand up and start banging on the TV because I go, where are you going? Like, don't go there. It's
that energy.
That's how I listen to music. You know, I've realized that I watch hockey now the way that like I used to listen. Like if I were at like a rap show I'd not seen before and I'm hearing songs for the first time, sometimes like if you hear a good lyric, you'll just be like, and just kind of like lightly like react like audibly. I do that watching hockey now. I just sit there and I'm just like,
I would love to at some point, like after this season or maybe next season, I would love to have you on just for kind of some tips and pointers to how to watch hockey smarter. Like, I think that that's a very, very valuable thing for people who are dumb like me and maybe people who are trying to get into the game. Would love to have you on for like maybe a list of pointers on how to watch smarter.
First of all, Pete, not dumb. You are. I know you're not Gene Principe, and that's asking a lot. But you are on the verge. Like Pete Blackburn's kind of a big deal. So I would love to watch.
You're not dumb. People like you.
Yeah, there are echoes in my brain.
It's the tattoos. I think he's a handsome man.
Fans.
You are handsome, but you know what? There's a rumor that you guys once in a while jump on for overtimes in playoff games.
Yes,
it's a rumor that you do live stuff. So mostly I'm awake.
If you did those, man.
Yeah. Oh my God.
We might have to jump on live and then break down things as they are happening.
Like ice cream. Because we were talking about ice cream last night for the game winner.
Yep.
And I was going to bring in, Sean.
Yeah, the Monster Mash.
He was talking about how he likes Monster Mash Sundays from Friendlies.
Yes.
And
no chocolate.
I like that Sean was, apparently, I didn't realize this, you were a few seconds ahead of me.
Yeah.
Because you ended it before I even saw it. So you ended it. Pete asked the question about ice cream.
Gone.
I answered it, and then it was over. And I was like, is this really? And then I saw McDavid was on the ice, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is going to happen. Baby.
Well, if you're awake and a game goes into overtime, just shoot us a text, and we'll shoot you the link and just immediately join. Please.
I will. It's got to be the Western. Unfortunately, I got to work during the East. But I will say this. If I watch games with you guys, I am an older guy. I'm 56. So when I learned Bop It to me in the 80s meant a much different thing than it is for you guys playing around in the studio. Like I bopped it a lot at University of North Dakota, but that's a whole nother story.
That sounds like a sexual thing. I learned to bop it in the 80s, and it was a much different thing. Like that sounds like a sex thing.
It was.
My parents bopped it in the 80s, and that's how I'm here.
I was not a handsome. No, buddy, wrong. I wasn't a handsome guy, and I lived in the dorms, so I bopped it every time my roommate left. But that's a whole nother story.
You don't gotta be handsome to fuck. You know, everybody needs love to bop it.
No, guys, I can't wait for more hockey. Like this playoff series, these are amazing series. 2 great series to watch. I can't wait for more hockey tonight, and I love talking to you guys about it. So anytime you want to have me on, I am sitting right here in Arizona.
All right, Steve Peters. Make sure everybody's following him on Twitter, by the way. S. Peters Hockey. He's a great follow because he posts short clips explaining and showing the things that he says to us. So when we're asking him questions, he's got that shit on there anyway. So check it out. He's amazing on Twitter and all of his podcasts. He's doing the PHNX hockey podcast with Leah Merrill, which is fantastic. How's that going?
Yeah, it's going good. It's unfortunate. It's hard. We don't have anything to talk about. Like we were talking about playoffs, but the Coyotes thing, it's really sad right now. So we're waiting.
It's just that they're
the next
not
big
there
thing
anymore.
here. Yeah, the next big thing is the land auction in June, and I know it's not exciting to listen to a hockey show and talk about a land auction, but that's what's next on our agenda in late June. So we'll see. Hopefully hockey comes back sooner rather than later.
All right, Petey. Well, we appreciate you. We love you so much. As Pete said,
thanks, guys.
We'll do it in person sometime. We can't wait.
I'll see you at the draft. Can't wait.
All right, bye, friend. There are some changes going on across the league. Don Wadell is now out in Carolina. We're going to discuss his potential exodus. No, he's gone. He has left Carolina. Interviewed yesterday. Longtime GM of the Hurricanes, by the way.
Yeah.
Interviewed with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Love that. Love him for the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, I would love that as well. Longtime GM for the Hurricanes since 2018.
Yeah,
shorter
it's like 7 years. What, 6 years? 5 years?
Yeah,
but he was there. Like,
he was there before
yes.
being the GM, so he's a longtime Carolina Hurricane executive.
Yeah.
They made the playoffs every single year he was GM, and they 3 division titles. Hadn't won a game beyond the second round, but like Carolina's been a real
steady Eddie.
Yeah, and a real like model franchise for a lot of teams, despite not getting past the Eastern Conference Final. Surprising that he's out, I think, in Carolina. You think?
Surprising as of, I was going to say not surprising now. Not surprising as of the last 12 hours.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I was surprised to see that initial report from Pierre LeBrun, like, hey, sound like the sides are going to move away from each other. I was like, why?
Yeah.
And then I started thinking, Oiler. Maybe replaces Kenny. But there are a lot of teams, I think, who could use his services.
I mean, he's very well respected. I would love him in Columbus. Columbus, I think, would love him there as well. They're looking for somebody with a little pedigree. I mean, if you got a chance to get Don Wadell, if you're Columbus, that's kind of a great little steal, I would imagine. And it does sound like Eric Tulsky is maybe the next in line to be the official general manager. He is currently the interim general manager of the Carolina Hurricanes. I would be surprised if they went in another direction. Like, it seems like Tulsky has been waiting in the wings for quite some time, whether it was going to be in Carolina or somewhere else. I know that he has interviewed a bunch of different places, including Pittsburgh last year. That job obviously ultimately went to Kyle Dubas. But like, Tulsky has been a real model example in the analytics community for a long time.
On the subject of the Hurricanes, Elliot Friedman said today on 32 Thoughts that he believes the Bruins and Hurricanes talked about Linus Ullmark at the trade deadline. If that's true, atrocious behavior by Don Sweeney.
I mean, you don't know what that means, though. That could just mean that Carolina called and...
I don't think Elliot would say that if they got a call. Even if he said they took a call, that means that you entertained a call. You could say Hurricanes called on this player. That means they reached out. But if you say the other team took a call, it means they entertained it and they talked about it. They just said, well, what are you thinking?
I'm not ready to say that it's atrocious behavior, like no matter what. Like, it would the Bruins would have to win that trade pretty significantly in order to justify it. Because you can't give your reigning Vezina goaltender to one of the other powers in the Eastern Conference, whose basically only weakness at that point was goaltending. I think that would have been very bad behavior for a Bruins team that was made it clear that they were trying to keep the window open this year. Mm-hmm. You would have had to come away with some really good players to fill the gaps on your roster in order to justify that. So I was saying Ullmark to Carolina makes a lot of sense this offseason. I wouldn't have done it during season, that's for sure.
I still don't like it. We'll see if it happens. I am not in favor of it. Maybe the Bruins might feel, though, that their options are limited because of Ullmark's no trade. And they're like, well, when you take away the 16 teams where you can't move him to, and then what's left, how many teams want to spend $5 million on a goaltender, et cetera, et cetera. I hate the idea. If you're trying to contend, of moving him to a team that is better than you, because the Hurricanes are better than the Bruins. We'll see, though, what the Bruins roster looks like next year. Let's do some Bauer rankings, which essentially this week are kind of just going to be behavior grades presented by Bauer. There was a Stars fan yesterday who wore at the game a Go Stars jersey. No problem, right? Take a look at it. It's an Oilers jersey. It says Go Stars on it. And given that he was standing next to someone in a Marty Turco jersey, I tweeted, did you not see that, Sean?
Wait, no. Do you see what's going on here? There's a Vegas jersey right in front of him. I didn't even notice that. That guy's, look at the shoulder. This is like the Vegas Golden Knights.
Oh, yeah.
Star thing. And
Okay.
this guy is wearing a Stars hat with the Oilers
Weird
jersey.
behavior.
So crazy shit happening
is
at the
wild.
Stars game last night. But given that this person is standing next to somebody in a Marty Turco jersey, I was like, I could see that being Sean. And then
Marty
the
Turco
person in the confusing Go Stars jersey is for sure Pete.
That is an incredible takeaway because as Sean pointed out, like Pete hates the Stars branding so much that he'll buy another team's jersey to rep the Stars because that's how bad the Stars jerseys are. I love that. I think this is absolutely diabolical behavior.
It's
diabolical
such expensive behavior.
Diabolical to buy the
it looks like a
opponent's
kid.
jersey to support your hometown team because he's wearing, I assume it's his hometown team, and he's wearing a Stars hat as well.
Well, yeah, and as Tyler pointed out in the chat, it's the Heritage Classic jersey.
Yeah.
Like he got it, did he get it for this series just to troll? Like I just don't understand what the
So
thought
weird.
process could be behind that.
Somebody in the chat says maybe he's rooting for the stars of the Oilers. So maybe he can't pick between McDavid, Draisaitl, Bouchard, Hyman.
I don't think so.
Stu, the way he was going last night. I think that
The
could
Stars,
be it.
he's wearing a Stars hat too, though, which is what I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like he
I would
must have been.
I would be so self-conscious as that guy because if you see him head on, all you see is this guy wearing a Stars hat and an Oilers jersey. It's not until you get to the back that you're like, oh, he's just a Stars fan that's maybe trolling. But
Maybe from
the
Edmonton,
front, you look like a fucking asshole.
Yeah, there's some things
From the back, you look like an asshole.
Remember like when people would make hats?
From the back, you kind of look, it's kind of funny. Like it's diabolical. It's chaotic evil.
Yeah.
You can't make your point in disguise. And I think that is such an obvious thing that has missed a lot of people. Like, do you remember people would wear hats that said like, make America gay again?
Yeah.
Great message. Looks like you're wearing a MAGA hat.
Bryce Harper always did that with Make Baseball Fun Again. And yeah, it just,
Yeah,
it's like
especially when you look
50
like
feet
Bryce
away, you
Harper
look
and you're wearing a
MAGA,
red
yeah.
hat.
It's like, sweet. That's not helping.
Yeah.
That's
agreed.
hurting. Make it, if you're going to wear a shirt that says, or a hat that says like, make America gay again, it's got to look completely different from the hat that suggests, let's be like racist and homophobic.
Would you say that this situation is more damning for the individual or is it more damning for the Stars branding?
It really just depends on what is going on in his head.
I know.
Like,
I wish we could interview him.
I just don't. I cannot think of a reason why you would go that route. Like because if you were from Edmonton and you were like, I still have a soft spot in my heart for the Oilers, then you just wear an Oilers jersey with a Stars hat and be like, I root for both teams, which is also at worst questionable behavior.
Don't go to the fucking game. No, I don't want. If like Pete is rooting for the Stars, but he's not my foil here as an Oil man. Pete's happy if the Oilers win and do well and everything. He's a fan. He's a massive hockey fan who prefers one team. I don't want someone who's like, I really like both of these teams going to the game. I got no use for that fucking person. I need them to pick a lane.
Yeah, I don't like. I talked about this a lot with the Coyotes, which I obviously fell in love with. Like, if we had gotten the Coyotes Sabres thing, like that's 7 games of me hating the Arizona Coyotes.
I disagree. I think that if you're in that camp, you have to go neutral. Like you have to dress neutral. You can't represent both teams.
That's what happened when we went to the Bruins Oilers game, and we went in. Sean and I are both like, Sean was rooting against the Bruins. He always is, but like, I don't know how much you were necessarily rooting for the Oilers. I think you were like, let's fucking see Connor McDavid.
Yeah, I was
and
rooting
by
for
like
Connor McDavid.
halfway through the game, we were like, we are both rooting for the Oilers so hard in this fucking game.
Connor McDavid's awesome. He's just the best, and he's so fun to watch. And I don't know how you don't enjoy that.
I don't remember what the last example was, but there was a case of a behavior grade segment earlier this season where my takeaway was, I don't know where I land on the grade, but I want like a behavior investigation. I want more information.
Mm-hmm.
I need more information on this person.
We need somebody in Dallas to track this guy out. I
Boots
need
on
to
the
know
ground.
the thought process.
Yeah, please give it to me. Philip Roenick hates, I put in the rundown just Philip Roenick hates life, people. Sean, give us a little proof.
Philip, your season was really 2 seasons in one. Up until Christmas, incredible production, point production. That obviously dropped off in the second half and in the playoffs as well. I don't know if you were playing through an injury that you're willing to shed a little bit of light on, but how do you look at sort of the two halves of the season from the production standpoint?
I mean, you named it. Like, first half of the year, I was producing. Second half, I was not.
And why was that, I guess, is the question.
Why? If I know the answer, I probably would do something different, right? When I didn't produce, I would try to change something.
Were you playing through an injury?
No.
Like, we gave you your space all year. We're just trying to ask a few questions at this stage, and
Well, what do you want me to say?
I was curious about where the production
What do you want
went.
me? What do you want me to say on, like, on injury? If I didn't have injury, what do you want me to say? I said no.
Candidly, I don't know if this is good or bad behavior. I said to you guys last night, I wish that this word were just a different thing, because I wish we could do a segment called serving blank or being a blank. If we could do that segment, was Filip Hronek serving or being?
It really fucking depends on whether he's hurt or not.
Why are you so pissy, Leon? You know?
I mean,
I liked it. I was serving.
You think he was serving?
Yeah, because it's just
absolute
like
hilarious physical comedy when he was asked if he was
Yeah,
hurt
I wanted
or
you
not.
to screen grab, like, as he was. Could you pull it back up and just like drag him listening to the question, because he's looking at him and he's just like, "What?" Like, yeah, drag, yeah.
It's so good. Yeah, like it really does depend on whether or not he's hurt. Because if he's hurt, and a lot of people seem to think that he's been hurt for a while, including that reporter who was a little pushy about it. But if he's not hurt, he has every right to respond to that question being like, just told you I'm not fucking hurt. Like, I don't know what happened. I wish I had an answer. But if he is hurt, kind of being a dick.
I've been in that spot before where where you either have to ask a GM or just ask a player or whatever, like, hey, was this player hurt? And especially if you're talking to the player and they're like, I remember I asked Patrice Bergeron one time, I was like, hey, just like on or off the record, on background, whatever. I was like, are you playing with something right now? And he was like, no. And it sucks because in that moment, you're acknowledging to the person, like, I think you're playing that right now.
Yeah.
And they're acknowledging.
You're either saying, well, you suck, or you're lying.
And they're hearing, like, fuck, it seems I'm not, apparently I don't look too hot out there. So it's going to be awkward. I don't know if you come back over the top with, why are you so pissy, Leon?
that's what I was going to ask. The behavior on
the reporter?
yeah, like we've been giving you your space. Like, what did you think about that?
I don't hate because there are certain players that everyone will just avoid because they're like, he doesn't like talking to the media, so whatever. Don't want to fucking deal with it. It's not great behavior, but I do like the reporter being like, hey, we could have done this every day with you, and we chose not to out of respect for you and out of giving you what you want. So it's not the worst behavior. It's not amazing behavior. I definitely know where the consumer is going to fall, which is like, no one fucking cares about you, reporter. Shut up. But it is this reporter's job to check in with this player, and they chose not to do it to make that person happy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the reporter was being an asshole. He just was like pushing for an answer. And as a result, we got an incredible clip. So I have a hard time blaming the reporter.
I mean, I enjoyed it. I don't think
enjoyed
anybody
every
was
second
wrong.
of that.
Like, you have to ask the question if he's not injured, or even if he is injured and is not going to talk about it. Like, what do you, like Vinny in the chat said, genuinely, what did the reporter want him to say? Like, if he's not injured, that's the end of the story. And also, like, I definitely am not a fan of the like, why weren't you playing well question? Because the players always respond. If I knew I'd be playing better.
Yeah, and like, as somebody who appreciates when Leon Draisaitl hits pissy mode, I have to appreciate when Filip Hronek or anybody else hits pissy mode with a reasonable explanation.
That
and I
should
think
be.
he has a reasonable cause to be pissy there. And I don't think it's bad behavior on anybody's part I like the whole exchange, and I'm very thankful that it happened.
The best part, which I cut because there was no audio, is at the end of that, they start panning back across to like the other players, and you could see at least 2 of them have their heads down, like fighting off smiles.
Ian Cole was stifling a laugh. Yeah,
that part was very funny.
Which Ian Cole was probably just relieved that somebody was asking somebody else why they suck so much.
Right. He was like, "Oh man, thank God there is a maligned defenseman up here." Couldn't be me.
I imagine.
Do we think he's gone because of that? By the way, not because of
Hronek?
that, but like, or is that a sign that he's gone?
Hronek?
Yeah.
Well, Elliot Friedman this morning on 32 Thoughts said that they could see Nachas being traded to Vancouver with potentially Hronek being in the deal.
Okay. They said that Nachas might have been part of the Ullmark talks.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he would make a lot of sense for the Bruins. I think that would still be on the table. Yeah, but we're also on Dad Watch with Marty Nachas. Did you see that earlier in the week?
Really?
Yeah, Don Wadell in his press conference, exit presser for the Carolina Hurricanes, was asked about Marty Nachas' dad, I believe, saying that like they wanted to trade out of Carolina or something like that. And Wadell was like, "Yeah, say hi to his dad for me."
Ooh. Dang. We are getting back to the games tonight, though, with the Eastern Conference Final. And I just want to loop back at the end of the week. We had the jersey matchup discussion. And the reason I went in favor of the Western Conference Final having the better jersey matchup is how the different blues and reds played against each other in the Eastern Conference Final. We've now seen it on the ice. Do we have any sort of updated thoughts and takes on it? Because it looked pretty good out there. Yeah. But still not amazing. And I think that the difference in the Reds and Blues is why.
I don't have a problem with it. I just don't love Florida's uniforms.
I do.
Really?
Yeah.
Also, this is what I was talking about the other day. I forgot. I didn't even realize this in the picture. You see the captain thing? They have the extra little captain banner over the side patch, which I've never seen on a jersey before.
Wait, they have a jersey patch for the captain?
Yeah, like look right there.
Yeah.
You see on the left side, they have the flag. And then above it says Panthers, and above that it says captain. The other players don't have that. They don't have the captain thing on it. Obviously.
That's pretty cool.
Do you like that or not? I
kind of like that.
I don't have a thought yet. I'll let you have it, and then I'll just copy yours.
It's unique, so I kind of like it.
I am an appreciator of unique captain patches. Like I loved when the Calgary Flames had the flaming C as their C.
Coyotes have messed with that a little bit too.
There was one, I think it was Minnesota. Maybe their Winter Classic jersey or something. They had the outline of the state as the captain patch. Like I like that shit. Like unique touches to the captaincy patch, I think is kind of a lost art in the NHL these days. So I think that's super cool. I'm just not a big fan of Florida's uniforms. I think they're kind of bland. You love them?
I really do like them.
Love them.
Like love might be, but I really like them.
You would prefer those as opposed to like the pouncing cat from back in the day. Like this, cut back to this shot, like that jersey is so much better and has so much more personality than what the Panthers wear now. And their reverse retro, the navy blue one, was so good.
And that feels so
Florida.
The
palm tree, the palm tree alternate that they had too was so good.
That blue reverse retro whatever was amazing. I will agree with you on like the shield. Like I like the Pouncing Panther more. I just really like the design of these jerseys. Like I like the gold trim. I love the blue.
I don't like that the stripe doesn't extend to the back. It cuts off. It's only on the front half of the jersey, and it's kind of awkward when it just cuts halfway through there.
That's fair. I can listen. I'm fine with that criticism. Yeah. I don't know. Something about them I like a lot. I like this jersey combo. I don't know. I do really like the Panthers jerseys.
It feels very inoffensive, and it's kind of bland. And I think that the Panthers have reshaped their identity so much over the past like 2 or 3 years. I think they need a new like refreshed look.
I agree, and that's kind of my thing with these jerseys you're talking about. Like the actual design of the jersey isn't that special. It's really boring to me. So like I wish like not the Hurricanes, the Lightning have done this in certain situations. Like the Avs do. Like I just like when the jerseys have like a very distinct design to them that kind of feels Like, I like the Avs a lot. Like, the Avs jerseys are very, very good to
I
me.
love the Avs jerseys.
The old Stars jerseys where, like, the bottom of the jersey was a star. Like, I like stuff like that. So, and I think it's Florida, South Florida, kind of.
Not even mentioning the
adjacent
goat.
to Miami.
The goat head. Did you know that the goat head jersey, the design is a like a buffalo head? It's incredible.
What do you mean? Like the logo?
Like the actual like silhouette of the when you do like the T of the jersey, the design is a goat.
That's
is a
crazy. Yeah, it's got
buffalo.
like the horns.
Yes.
Oh,
It's
like
fucking
under the arms
crazy.
and everything?
Yeah.
holy shit.
The
That's
silhouette
awesome.
of the design.
That's something that I would think you would know and I wouldn't know. I thought
Yeah.
that everybody knew that.
No, I tweeted it out like a handful of years ago, and the people were blown away. I'm trying to find the
Really?
tweet. Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm
Let's
trying
see.
to find it, but
Sean's
yeah,
efforting right now.
yeah, right here. I'll send you the link. Let me drop it into the chat. There you go. Yeah, it's like the goat head basically. It's a buffalo head. It's fucking wild.
Yeah,
I did not know that. When did I send that tweet? That was 2018. So it was 6 years ago. Yeah, and it got like 2,000 retweets because their minds were blown. So I don't know how.
Maybe
they
I
found it
didn't
out.
know, or maybe I just remember you tweeting it or something.
Yeah.
I felt like it was something that was out there,
Yeah,
but now
so
I feel like I'm relearning it.
is this live? Okay, yeah. So see the white portion of the design is designed to look like a buffalo head, which
Yeah.
is fucking crazy.
Never knew that.
Such
Yeah, I think I
a good
confirmed. Did
jersey.
not know that until you
That
pointed
is,
that out.
I would also say you could take these and make them the New Jersey Devils jerseys, and they'd work just as well. Like, it looks kind of devilish as well.
Yeah,
Mm.
you got just the horns. Like that is
Take
such
out the
a
gray, replace it
cool
with the
fucking
green.
design.
That'd be a good Devils jersey. But yeah, I love these. So much better. Someone brought it up in the chat. The Buffalo Slug jerseys are some of the worst jerseys in the history of the sport.
Very true. Not even the worst Sabres jersey though.
If anybody's not subscribed
Yeah,
on YouTube,
worst
by the
main
way,
jersey.
this is why you should do it, because we're throwing some stuff up on the screen, and it's a visual show. We've got an amazing set, so make sure you've smashed subscribe if you have not, and subscribe everywhere you can. Last thing that we got to show is Leon sparking one up big time. There's been a treacherous lack of Leon Draisaitl talk on this show, and it just shows how much is going on in the NHL in both of these series, that this guy has been the best player of the postseason, continued it last night, and in addition to scoring another goal, thanks to Brett Kulak, who also fucked up.
Yeah.
Still kind of on my shit list, but he got it starting on that Draisaitl goal. Here's Leon on the bench, lighting his stick. An Oilers fan caught it, screen grabbed it. Amazing. I forget who we jacked this from, but thank you to the Oilers fan who caught it. Just fucking sparking one up on the bench.
Love it. Burn one up, baby.
We got a super chat.
Oh,
Shout out our friend Katie.
yes,
who-
the Avalanche fan, just for the Avs jersey mention. Thank you, Katie. And thank you to everybody who super chats. We're going to throw them up a little more timely as they pop up. It's very good behavior from you, and we appreciate it so much. But the hockey's been great this week. We love it so much. Do we have any more super chats, or are we done, Zo?
No, but we do have to mention, we mentioned it on the stream last night, but the love of your life, we apologize for missing your super chat yesterday.
Mm.
So.
Yeah. We'll be around. We always are. We watch the games. If they go to overtime, are we available for all the overtime games this weekend, possibly? It's
Should
May
be.
long, I think.
Should be.
so
I'm moving this weekend. It's going to be a stressful weekend, but I should be available.
I should be available tonight. Maybe not Saturday night, but we'll see.
Well,
Tonight-
Sunday will be famously in the middle of the fucking day.
Yeah.
Sunday, we're just going to be locked indoors. Sunday, we could possibly watch here.
No, I got to move.
Oh, yeah, you're doing that. I don't want to be fucking home on a Sunday. It's May long. It could be May long. I don't know. It should be out and about, living life. As Sean said, doing fucking parades.
Mm.
Let's do a watch party that's a parade.
Hell yeah.
We'll get it. We'll pay for, I don't know, whatever. We'll do an iPhone hotspot. and just fucking do a parade. Well, thank you to everybody. We'll be available, as I said, if these games go into overtime. Otherwise, we will talk to you Monday. We are doing an episode on the holiday because those are the kinds of fellows we are. Make sure you've hit subscribe everywhere.
And
Pete,
hit the like button. Like
could
spike
you do a
3,
like
2, 1.
spike?
Thumbs
Yep.
up right below the video player. Please hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe. We will see you maybe this weekend if any games go into overtime. But if not,
Discord
we will
too.
see you on Monday. That's
Hit the
right.
Discord.
Discord.
Yep.
Right in the YouTube description. All those links right in the YouTube description. Go do it. Bye. We love you.
We all silly like the mayor.